everybody, welcome back to Furniture Flipping Teacher, and welcome back to day 7 of the 12 days of Flipmas. Today, I'm not quite sure which piece of furniture I'm going to be doing. I don't have one in mind, but I think this is a perfect time to head to IKEA. We got some awesome pieces that I'm so excited to do an IKEA hack with. Shout out to my mom for going to IKEA with me and getting some footage. It is 3 hours away, so that was a pretty hefty trip for this furniture. But I want you guys, before we reveal what we're hacking today, I want you guys to pause the video, comment down below, which IKEA furniture do you think I'm gonna be hacking today? Not gonna tell you what I got just yet, but you know IKEA furniture, it comes in boxes, so I guess this would be a perfect time to get it all built. Whew. Oh my goodness. 4.5 hours later, we've got some IKEA furniture. I went with the Tarva set, so I got the 6-drawer dresser behind me and then 2 nightstands. I felt like these just were the most blank slate. They didn't cost an arm and a leg, although I'm pretty sure the cost was right under $500 for these 3 pieces. Each nightstand was $100, and then the dresser was like $279. So after taxes, we're in at about $500 already, which is crazy, I know, because it's a furniture flip. But not only do I want to show you guys a method to make some furniture better, but you don't always have to go to IKEA to grab it. Maybe in your area, people are selling it on Facebook Marketplace. Like I said, IKEA is 3 hours away from me, so typically we don't have any IKEA furniture on Facebook Marketplace because it's not as common in my area. But I've been dying to do an IKEA hack, so I'm super excited for this one. Stick around. You guys will not want to miss the end result. The ultimate goal is still to make a profit. Although we're starting with a really high investment, I still have confidence that I'm gonna be able to make a profit, even if it is just a small one. So since I built these, I went ahead and left the tops off because my idea is to keep these a separate color than the rest of the pieces. The bigger dresser, it was just a part of the structure, so I couldn't leave that off. So I'll just be taping that off. But these 2 nightstands, I'm gonna set these aside, and I don't have to clean because it's brand new furniture. I don't have to remove the hardware because I didn't put it on. And so our first step is gonna be to sand. Although this is pine and it is finished, I just want to be sure that it is all smoothed out. There were a few scrapes and scratches from when we built it. So I'm gonna grab my Surf Prep and give it a nice sand. All right, I'm gonna put my mask on real quick. This is my RZ mask, and if you're interested, you can get one, and the link's down below in the description. You can use my code FFT10 to get some money off on their website. This just really helps the dust from getting in your lungs. I don't use it every time because the vacuum dust extractor does really do a great job of sucking up the dust, but sometimes I just feel like using it. So that's why you see me sometimes using it and sometimes not. So I'm using a medium grit small foam pad on my sander just so that I don't make any dents. The pine is very soft wood, so you want to be pretty careful when you're using it because it dents super easily, and I don't really want to get down under any sort of grain, so I'm just going to be doing a light sanding here. So I didn't sand the fronts of the drawers because I've got an idea for this hack that I have been planning for a very long time. I think I've had the products for it for like more than a year, so this is the time to do it. I don't need to sand them, so I'm gonna actually set those aside, and then we are going to get what I'm putting on them. So I'm gonna be installing some wallpaper to the fronts of the drawers, but it is not just any wallpaper. It is textured paintable wallpaper. So I am going to be cutting this to size to put on the fronts of these drawers, and it's pre-pasted, which I've never used before, but I'm confident that it won't be too difficult. I've actually heard that it's sort of easier than the peel and stick just because it doesn't like stick immediately. So let's get these cut to size. I measured the drawers. It's 29 3/8 inches wide, and it's 9 3/4 inches tall. So we need to get 6 of these for the longer drawers, and then I'll measure the littler drawers second. So I should be able to get 2 drawers out of these pieces, and then I will make sure that I'm lining up that top drawer to that so that the pattern matches up nicely too. You'll see what I mean. What the heck? Did I measure wrong? They're so big. It was 8 3/4.
Would you measure 9?
9 3/4. Dang it. I guess I could cut the bottom off and then the top off, and then I'll just have that one match up to this one. I'll do the official trimming once everything is glued down, but that is a much better size. I wasn't for sure if I had cut enough for both, but I did, and it's perfect. So now just 2 more here. All right, we got them all cut. Some of them are just like a tad bit bigger than the actual drawer front, but once I get them all pasted is when then I'll come back with my knife and just kind of make any trimming that is necessary. But right now we're gonna go ahead and paste them on the drawer fronts. So I've never pasted wallpaper before, but I read the directions, so gotta start somewhere. It says to roll up the piece and then dip it in this bucket of water for about 30 seconds. Make sure it's all wet when it comes out. We don't want it to dry out, but so we want to make sure the edges are like on top of each other here. So we're just gonna let that sit for just a couple minutes, and then I'm going to be putting it on here. It's a little bit of a process, but I want to do it correctly so that it all turns out right. And then it tells me a damp sponge to smooth it out. And I did rip it a bit, but I think once it dries and I paint over it, you won't really be able to tell. So just be careful. I think this one's good. Now it just needs to dry while I do the other 7 drawers. While the wallpaper is drying over here, I'm gonna go ahead and get prepped for primer. So there's some spots on these dressers and nightstands that I don't want to get any paint on. That includes the top here, as well as like the drawer slides and some of the bottom. So I'm gonna be taping everything off with my painter's tape and then my paint plastic combo. Got everything taped off. If you're doing this similar project and yours is already apart, another way that you could have done it with, if you didn't want to tape everything off, is sort of paint and prime and stuff before you assemble it. I decided to do it this way just to get the assembly out of the way. So it was just a tiny bit of extra work here, but that's just what I decided to do. So now it's time to prime. And the reason we're priming is because it is exposed raw wood. It's not treated. It's never been finished before. So we need to seal it up basically, because one, we don't want the wood tannins popping through, which is colors that would be staining the paint once we paint it. So this is a stain blocking primer from Lily Moon Paint. It's called Eclipse. And this is going to block the stains, just like I mentioned. So this is a water-based formula, which I love. So it kind of replaces something like Bin shellac-based primer, which is an oil-based, which is a little bit harder to clean up afterwards. And I am using the color gray. They have white available, they have gray available, and they have clear available. So whichever one goes best with your project, I would suggest grabbing. I'll link everything down below in the description, as well as you can get a 10% discount with Lily Moon Paint if you use my code FFT10. That'll also be down below. All right, everything is dry now, so that means that I can go ahead and trim off the wallpaper, because there are a few spots where it was just hanging over a tad bit. So what I'm gonna do, instead of using a knife and being super precise, I'm gonna actually use my sander and just go along the edges here very carefully, and basically it's going to sort of trim away the excess wallpaper. Okay, it is time finally to get some paint on these, and I'm gonna be using Lily Moon's Opulent formula, which is their all-in-one formula, and so that means it has the primer and the top coat built in. And so I'm using the color Cade's Cove, which is this beautiful green color, and I'm so excited to see it on the furniture because it looks amazing in the jar. One thing that I am going to be doing is spraying it, so I need to go ahead and filter it using a filter. I just bought a 250 pack of these on Amazon. I'll link them down below. They are amazing when it comes to the sprayer because you want to filter any sort of chunks out, and just it also kind of thins it out just a tad bit, especially if you have like maybe an older jar of paint that could have more chunks. You don't want to put that directly into your sprayer because it could clog it up. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour probably just this whole thing since I'll be doing multiple coats and we've got 3 pieces of furniture. So I'm just gonna go ahead and dump the whole jar in there, 16 ounces. We'll let that strain out, and then I am gonna water it down just a tad bit. One thing that you want to try and avoid when you are putting it in your spray gun is to not shake it because that can cause air bubbles, and then it will cause like skipping as you are spraying it on. So try to just stir your paint. I'm gonna go ahead and attach up and get my furniture in the painter's tent here, and that just really helps eliminate any overspray. I love the tent. It takes about 5 minutes to pop up, and I use it basically every time that I am spraying. Okay, I've got my cardboard box here that I am going to test out my spray pattern just to make sure that I like the flow. Since the last time I used it, I used a different paint. And so I just want to make sure that everything is golden before I actually spray the furniture. Okay, so I'm getting a little skip in my spray pattern, and what I'm pretty sure that the problem is that I don't have it quite thin enough. So I'm gonna grab a little bit more water and go ahead and thin it out just a tad bit more. First coat is already dry, so I'm gonna take my super fine rad pad. I'm really just gonna be smoothing out on the actual dressers. The drawers I'm not gonna worry about since it's textured, but I just wanna do this smoothing out one time before I do the second coat. That way the paint is just as smooth as it possibly can be. We were kind of racing against the lighting and the nicer weather because it's important to not paint when it is too cold. So we just finished up with 2 coats. It is absolutely beautiful, like exactly what I had in mind. So I'm very, very excited. This is going to dry now, and then we're gonna work on the tops in the meantime. All the plastic is off. It's better to do it while the paint is like a tad bit wet, so that's why I went ahead and did it real quick. Also took the tape off all the legs because now it is time to sort of tone down the wood color. It's a bit yellowish, and so I'm gonna be using Natural Cork, which is the color of this gel stain that I'm gonna be using from Lily Moon Paint. And it is a water-based gel stain, and my favorite part is that it includes the top coat. Anytime that a product has multiple functions, I personally love, because that just kind of cuts down on the amount of time that you're spending on the process, and then it also cuts down on the money because now I don't have to go out and buy a top coat because it's all built in here. Remember that when you're buying products as well, maybe it's a little bit more pricey than you thought, but think about it, how many products are like in one specific jar of it. So it's Natural Cork, so that means it's still gonna be this natural wood color. Again, we're just taking a lot of those yellow tones out of it. So I'm gonna just go ahead and apply this across the board here. This is gonna be going on the tops of the nightstands and the dresser, as well as on the legs and the feet. And then I'm just gonna take a lint-free cloth and we're just gonna spread it right on. Once I got it all spread, then I'm gonna just take a clean lint-free cloth and wipe it evenly across the whole surface. So there's a little bit of excess, but I'm just going right across and wiping back that excess to even everything out. I'm going with the wood grain so that we get a nice consistent look across the board. So it's a lot more toned down now, which is exactly what I was going for. But we can still see the wood grain, and it's still that more natural color that I was hoping for. This is the absolute perfect color for this. Everything is stained, so this is gonna dry. My hardware is still on the way from Amazon, but once that gets here, I'm gonna be finishing this set up. My hardware came, so we are gonna go ahead and install it. I have my hardware jig here that I am going to be using. This will help me get exact holes on each drawer and make them all the same. So, the drawer is 9 inches, so I need it right in the middle at 4.5, and then my holes are about 6 1/4 inch apart from each other for centers. So I'm just going to be putting this right here in the middle. So we need that. So now I'm just going to go ahead and drill my hardware holes. I'm just gonna start the holes, and then once I remove the actual jig, then I'll go all the way through the drawer. I just don't wanna go too crazy and ruin any of the wallpaper, but it is really sticking on nicely. So I'm really glad about that because I don't want it peeling off after it's been sitting for a while. I forgot this is pine, so it's super, super soft wood. So it, honestly, I just went all the way through real quick. So we'll just go ahead and go all the way through. Yeah, no filling holes on this one. So it's gonna look something like that, which is just so pretty. I love this color. I found these on Amazon, like I told you guys, and I got a pack of 10 for around $30, and they're really nice quality too. Like they're pretty heavy. It's almost like that champagne brushed bronze gold color. It's a really hard color to describe, but it's super, super pretty. And it really goes with the boho look of this whole dresser. I'm gonna get the other 5 all drilled, and then we'll put the actual hardware on. We're done. It's done. Let's do a reveal. Wow, this came out better than I could have imagined. I have been wanting to do a flip like this with the textured paintable wallpaper for some time now, and I thought what better way to do it than on an IKEA hack. So I hope that you guys really enjoyed this video. And again, if you want to get a piece straight from IKEA and keep it for yourself, totally okay. It's probably not the most ideal to sell. I'm still going to be looking for a profit when I sell this set. So like I said at the beginning, I got this for around $500 total. And then, you know, with the materials, I'm probably in around $40 or $50 more with the paint and the stain, the hardware, and the wallpaper. So let's call it $550. That's a pretty big upfront cost investment, but that's okay. I'm at least gonna try and get my money back, but then of course I wanna try and get a little bit more because it was a lot of time and effort, but honestly, I just wanted to do this flip so bad. So I'm probably gonna be listing this around $700 over on Facebook Marketplace. Everything is great quality, it's brand new, and it's also very trendy. It has the green color with the lighter color wood, which is definitely on trend right now. So I have confidence that it is gonna sell over there. Also, really quick, I want to talk to you guys about the paint that I used on this flip. I use it in a couple of other videos, and I absolutely love and highly recommend this paint. It is called Lily Moon Paint. They have amazing products. They've been in business for about 1 year now, and they have a mineral line, which is just going to be a regular paint. It's very similar to chalk paint, but it's not chalky, if that makes any sense at all. And then they have another line, which is what I used on this set, and it's called Opulent, which is going to be their all-in-one formula. So you don't need to prime, you don't need to top coat. I primed because in the Opulent, it's not the stain blocking primer, but it's more of the adhesion primer. And then again, it's got the top coat in there. They also have the gel stains, which is what I used for the wood parts that I left the raw wood. I love it because they have about 10 or 12 different colors that are basically ranging from all of the possible stains of wood. So they've got the lighter washes all the way up to the light browns into the dark browns, and even have a black and a gray stain, which I can't wait to utilize. Anyway, go check them out, and you can use my code FFT10 to get 10% off of your entire order. They've got zebra brushes over there. They've got other styles of brushes. They've got furniture cleaner, and the list goes on and on. You're not going to want to miss out. So Thank you to Lily Moon for supporting us and for providing such awesome products. Neiman also loves to remind me that what I do is unique. What you guys do is unique. It's one of a kind, so not only is it trendy, but chances are nobody else is going to be going to have furniture that is anywhere close to looking like this. So keep that in consideration when you are listing your pieces. If someone wants a one-of-a-kind piece done by you, then you know your work is worth it. So I'm gonna go list this on Facebook Marketplace. I didn't even have time to get my headband on. We just sold the IKEA pieces to the same person who bought day 8s, which you'll have to wait and see in 2 days. But holy cow, that was amazing. Someone came to get the day 8 flip, and then they ended up coming away with the day 7 flip as well. So the IKEA dresser and 2 nightstands is gone, you guys. I made a profit, which is crazy. So I sold it for $725 and I was all in at $550, which is really high, but that leaves me a total profit of $175. So hey, I'll take it, you know? I didn't get like a great amount of profit per hour, but that's not really what I'm in it for. That project was like a dream project for me and it made me happy, and I still made a little bit of a profit. So you guys get out there, do your dream project, try something new. I am absolutely stoked. I love it when that happens. That is another reminder, have some inventory on hand. We were gonna take this to our storage unit so many times and we were just like, you know, we're in the middle of a project. We're not gonna do it today. We'll do it tomorrow, we'll do it tomorrow. And then it totally paid off. So, oh my gosh, so excited. I cannot wait for day 8 and I can't believe we only have 5 more days left. Get subscribed down below for day 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, and I'll see you on the flip side.